Buenos días a todas y todos. Es un gran placer para mí, en nombre del comité organizador, darles la bienvenida a este evento tan importante, nuestro primer foro de inteligencia artificial en el aprendizaje de lenguas, retos y oportunidades en educación superior. Nos sentimos honrados de contar con la presencia de todos ustedes, tanto asistentes como panelistas, en este espacio donde convergerán expertos en el campo de la inteligencia artificial y la educación, especialmente en el área de lenguas, para compartir experiencias, reflexionar y discutir las posibilidades y desafíos que presenta la inteligencia artificial en la enseñanza y el aprendizaje de lenguas, en el contexto de la educación superior a nivel nacional e internacional. Para dar inicio a este foro, tenemos el honor de contar con la presencia de integrantes del comité organizador, a quienes les agradezco profundamente todo su apoyo para hacer este evento posible. Este equipo está conformado por la doctora Patricia Núñez Mercado, la doctora María del Pilar Balbuena Ortega, la doctora Olga Lidia Sánchez Cruz, el doctor David Martínez Cerqueda, el doctor Oscar Manuel Narváez Trejo, la maestra Lorena Amelia Mercado Lara, la maestra Gabriela Guadalupe Estrada, el doctor Cliserio Antonio Cruz Martínez, doctor Carlos Núñez Mercado, maestra Carolina Reyes Galindo y el doctor Rubén Hernández Ruiz, y una servidora, Alma Eloísa Rodríguez Medina, todos adscritos a la Universidad Veracruzana. En las próximas semanas tendremos la oportunidad de escuchar expertos de talla nacional e internacional compartir sus conocimientos y experiencias en el ámbito de la inteligencia artificial y el aprendizaje de lenguas. Les invitamos a estar pendientes de la agenda de nuestro evento, tanto en nuestro sitio web oficial como en nuestras redes sociales. Estamos seguros de que este foro será una experiencia enriquecedora para todos. Les invitamos a aprovechar al máximo las experiencias que aquí se compartan, a participar en las distintas conferencias y a establecer conexiones con otros profesionales y estudiantes interesados en esta área. Ahora me gustaría ceder la palabra a la doctora Patricia Núñez Mercado, líder del Cuerpo Académico Lingüística Aplicada a la Enseñanza y Aprendizaje del Inglés de la Facultad de Idiomas, para dar paso a la inauguración y primera sesión de nuestro foro, en representación del maestro Raimundo Arcos Hernández, director de nuestra facultad, quien se disculpa por no estar presente en esta ceremonia debido a otros compromisos académicos. Una vez más, les damos la bienvenida y les deseamos un foro lleno de aprendizaje, colaboración y éxito. Muchas gracias.
Buenos días a todos. ¿Sí me oyen? Bueno, sí.
Sí, la escuchamos claro,
Ok.
doctora.
Perfecto. Bueno, pues Alma ya ha dado la bienvenida nuevamente. Les doy la bienvenida. Agradezco la presencia de todos y todas aquí pues aquí en este primer foro en inteligencia artificial en el aprendizaje de lenguas extranjeras, el cual, bueno, pues se declara inaugurado. Sí, muchas gracias. Y bueno, pues con la fortuna de contar con la presencia para esta primera conferencia, sí, de nuestro colega del norte, ya, el doctor Gabriel Francisco León Fontes, sí, que va a presentarnos ChatGPT for Learning, a 24/7 teacher at the tip of our fingers. Sí, el doctor León Fontes tiene una licenciatura en enseñanza del inglés por la Universidad de Sonora, una maestría en gestión, liderazgo y educativo por la Universidad del Valle de México y un doctorado en lingüística aplicada por la Universidad de Southampton, Reino Unido. Gabriel imparte clases en la licenciatura en enseñanza del inglés en la Universidad de Sonora. Además, ha participado como capacitador de docente en diferentes instituciones y como ponente y o asistente en múltiples congresos nacionales e internacionales. El doctor León también es perito traductor e intérprete por el Estado de Sonora y es un honor para nosotros contar con su presencia. Bienvenido, Gabriel.
Se está escuchando su audio.
Ok, gracias. ¿Ahora me pueden
Listo,
escuchar?
listo,
Ok,
sí.
muy bien, gracias. Continuaré, voy a cambiar ahora el idioma inglés y al final dejaremos unas 10-15 minutos para preguntas. Okay, so ChatGPT for learning. A 24/7 teacher at the tip of our fingers. So first of all, thank you to the Universidad Veracruzana for this invitation to be able to share with you, and also to the University of Sonora for giving us the spaces where we can learn and share about these very interesting topics nowadays. So today we are going to be working with a little introduction. We'll be talking about the benefits of AI personal teachers, how to use AI as personal teachers. This is going to be the largest part. We will also discuss some challenges and a little conclusion. And okay, let's begin. So what are we talking about? Why are we talking about artificial intelligence in education? This is something that UNESCO recommends. They recommend supporting teaching with AI, developing AI competencies, and incorporating courses of ethics and social implications of AI into the curriculum, and promoting lifelong learning. This is a guide on online training options. This is the biggest part where we're going to focus. They also recommend ensuring equity with AI and what is the impact that AI is having, and that we all have access to AI platforms. But what is AI anyway? And I think there's a lot of discussion. The term continues to change, but a field at the intersection of computer science and cognitive science. And it aims to create machines that are capable of learning, of problem solving and decision making, all based on data inputs. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, when we talk about ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, these very famous models, in reality, we're talking about large language models. Yes, they have emerged as a significant breakthrough. And they are a specific type of AI that focuses on understanding and generating human-like text. They are trained on immense amount of data, which enables them to capture intricate patterns in language and perform a very wide array of language-related tasks. So they can infer from context, generate coherent and contextually relevant responses, translate languages, summarize text, answer questions, and even assist in creative writing or code generation tasks. Here, in this last part, is where we start to see a glimpse of what we can do with this. All right. So this presentation explores the use or using of AI through large language models as personal teachers and their potential to transform the way students learn. An AI personal teacher, also known as an AI tutor or AI teaching assistant, is a form of artificial intelligence designed to facilitate and enhance the learning process. We can, however, work with the large language models that we have available today in order to ask them to act as personal teachers or AI tutors or teaching assistants. And this is where we would want to show or to let students know, or any person, not only students, the benefits or all this vast array of information that they have available. This concept has gained traction in recent years due to advancements in machine learning, natural language processing, and adaptive learning algorithms. They have the potential to transform the way students learn by providing personalized, engaging, and efficient learning experiences that are tailored to their individual needs and learning styles. Okay, I'm trying to go fast so that we can go to the really beautiful part of what we can do with this. Okay, what are the benefits of using AI as personal teachers? Well, there are numerous benefits, but among those are they can provide personalized learning, as we mentioned, because they can adapt to the student's learning pace, to their preferences, to their strengths even. They can analyze student data, and by doing so, for example, performance on assessment and engagement with materials, they can identify areas where students need additional support and adjust the content and pace accordingly. This is something that, yes, the student could do, could analyze themselves, but it is usually not done that way. Usually, teachers, we employ AI tools in order to analyze student data, but it is something that they could also do. They can offer instant feedback and guidance to students, enable them to identify and correct mistakes in real time. And the most interesting part, in my opinion, is that they are available 24/7. It allows students to access learning resources and support at their convenience. If you're better working at 2 a.m. and other people are better working at 3 p.m., it's fine. You will have that availability, but we need to know how to ask, right? Okay, so those are some benefits. Now, then how do I use it, right? Gabriel, you have given me these ideas or this a little bit of introduction and benefits of what can happen. So how do I use it? Well, first, we identify which are the most popular or some of the most popular large language models. And this is ChatGPT 4 and 3.5. This is from a company called OpenAI. Then we have Claude 2 by Anthropic. We have Google Gemini and Microsoft's Copilot. So we are going to work with Gemini and Copilot in order to give examples right now because they are very easy to access. We could also use ChatGPT. I will try to use one or two examples with that. Okay, so as a student, how can I use large language models to learn, to practice, or to improve my understanding of any given topic? That's the point, right? We want to be able to make sure that if we don't understand something and that we have someone who can help us learn fast. So we will see a series of ideas or recommendations of what you can do. This doesn't mean that you have to do that. Those are the options, right? So for instance, you can create a mind map of a given topic. It will present it as an outline. However, as we were mentioning, if we weren't to work with this ones, I have opened already here Google, and I have already opened Bing. So if you open Bing and you see this little logo here and you click on it, it will take you to Copilot. This is the artificial intelligence. You can select it to have more creativity, to have a little bit more balance, or to be more precise in your answers. I will keep it there to have something balanced. And for Google, you simply have to type Google Gemini, enter, and the first one, that is the artificial intelligence that Google has for us. So there we are. So now we go back and we see, so how can I create a mind map of a given topic? You're going to tell it, this is a topic, create a mind map. List out the central idea, main branches, and sub-branches. So for example, if I wanted to do that specific example, I'll go directly to our slide, and I will just copy it so that we can see what artificial intelligence can do for us. So put it there. I forget. There you are. I'll just paste it as text. And once you have given it the instruction, it starts to give you a very nice layout of what you can, or what you're trying to learn. So if we go and do the same in Copilot, and then we click send, the same. They will start working and they will create, in this case, the large language models, the answer they find or they think it's most appropriate. Here you even have some images. So I won't be able to give examples on everything, but as we progress, you're going to find that it is very useful. So as a student, if I want to learn something and I really can't understand the structure because it is a lot of information, a mind map is a great way to start. Number two, we can create tests. For example, number two, it says topic, English teaching. Write a multiple choice question with one correct answer and 4 incorrect distractor answers, and they should be labeled like that. The topic, it can be anything you want. Remember, I have added examples as prompts, but you can take those prompts and tweak them, modify them, adapt them so that they will serve your purposes. So if I take number 2, for instance, and I say, I'll open ChatGPT, just in ChatGPT. So if we use ChatGPT and we do the same, of course, the paid version will give you better answers, but even in the free version, it still does the job. Now, it's important to see that they are like assistants, right? That means that some of their answers might be wrong. Everything that we ask them to do needs to be revised. We cannot take that as valid. Remember, they are machines. They don't really have a criterion, or they don't have, let's say, still reasoning, but they work with the most possible or most logical answer. Let's say it like that. But it depends on numbers. The more an answer is repeated, the most likely the algorithm of these large language models will select it as the most probable option, right? So here we go. You can see they do give different responses. Wait, here we are. They do give different responses, but you can compare them. I do get the question a lot, which one is better? Is it ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, Gemini? They're all good. I think you should work with all of them and put the same prompts and see what prompt works best for you, because it has become increasingly more difficult to be able to identify which is the best large language model. Yet, of course, right now, sort of the consensus is that with the latest release of ChatGPT, ChatGPT is considered to be the best one. Okay, we go back to where we were. So it can write an essay, for example, the same. You can say act as an essay writer, write an essay, I'm sorry, on the topic above. You will need to do to research the topic above, formulate a thesis statement, and create a persuasive piece of work that is both informative and engaging. So if, again, we try and do this, we can see that they will give me different responses. Now, again, the paid versions do write more. They're more extensive in their writing, but Gemini does a fairly good job as well, as you can see. Something that has been criticized a lot to large language models is that they are people pleasers. So whatever you ask them to do, they will do. However, in their trying to please, sometimes they will make up information. I don't really know if this is a real article or real source. So we would need to check each one of the references to make sure that they are correct, that they actually exist. Okay, when they don't, this is something called hallucinations. All right, and finally, another thing, a very valuable thing that we can get is to create a time study table. You give a detailed list of what you need to study and the days you have available. I will explore this a little bit later. Okay. So create a mind map, create tests, write essays, and create a time study table. All of these elements can be used by students in order to improve their understanding of any topic. For instance, if I am in a class of, I don't know, research, and I really want to understand research philosophies, I can ask it to write an essay on research philosophies and have it be extensive, create an informative rather than a persuasive essay. And this will help me understand a little bit better, right? We can start with a mind map and then go to an essay and then a test to see if what I learned has stuck with me or if I learned it well. So what else can I do? As a student, I can create fill in the blank exercises. With these exercises, I can test my knowledge or my comprehension or understanding of any specific topic. For example, let's also show you this in real time. And where are we here? So we ask for this. So you see, it says to get started, provide me with a list of words in a sentence containing a blank space where one of the words should be inserted. And here, if you need another, you will simply type another in the end. So again, the topic, it can be anything you want, right? It looks like it went for connectors. And then we studied hard for the exam. However, we were still a bit nervous. Or nevertheless, I would use any of those two, however sounds better. And then you would answer here. However, and then you just type it. And it gave me more options. It didn't give me a response, but it went. Then probably for this one, you can say, is the answer, however, and then another. And it will give me another and another and another, all right? Okay, so that is for creating fill in the blank exercises. Now, this, the Feynman technique, I'll see it a little bit later also. It can explain a topic in easy to understand terms. For example, you can say act as a British history teacher, as an English teacher, as a English teaching methods teacher, as whatever you want. And you have to give it some information, some concepts that you want it to explain, but in easy to understand terms. And then you can, ask it to include step-by-step instructions, demonstrations, usage of visuals, or suggest online resources for further study. And then you can start. My first request is, I need help understanding what a sonnet is and their different types. Now, I think this presentation is being recorded. Anyhow, if you want this, you can just take screenshots of what we are doing so that you can keep these prompts and simply adapt them to your needs, all right? This is a very interesting element that you can do or that you can generate with large language models. You can try to develop reasoning and critical thinking. And something that you can do is try to work with the Socratic method. For example, you're going to say, act like a Socrat, and you must use the Socratic method to continue questioning my beliefs. I'll make a statement and you will attempt to further question every statement in order to test my logic. You will respond with one line at a time. My first claim is to learn the speaking skill in another language, you need practice. So it will talk to. Can you hear me still? There you are. Okay. For some reason I lost. So let's do the activity, right? So what happens when I use this? Okay, again. Then you can interact and it can help you to develop this, for example. But wouldn't you agree that there might be other factors that influence speaking ability as well? Yes, but learners need to be taught first, for example, right? In order to practice. You can write whatever you want. This is just an idea. True, and then it develops, and then it continues asking you through the Socratic method to try to help you reason why something is true or useful, or how it's applicable to your practicum, or why not, right? So yeah, this is a very nice exercise to do. Okay, let's continue. Now, you can use it to summarize text. You can actually give ChatGPT a topic and ask, what are the key points I should know when studying the topic above? For instance, I can say, and I'll go to the next one. Let's say that you are discussing, topic, the silent way. And then you click this, and then you type it. And again, you're going to start seeing how it actually explains them very in a very bulleted fashion, sort of outlining the key features. So it does help a lot to understand the concepts fairly easily. Okay, or at least you do get some time. You free some time, so you do it fast. Now, something that has been very, very interesting is that you can summarize YouTube videos. Sometimes we are given videos as part of our course requirements, and we need to work through those, and we find that we don't understand what they say, their speech is too fast, or whenever they're speaking, the way they interconnect the ideas is complex, and we're not able to link them well. So how can you do this? You have to find the transcript of the video. It is usually in the description below the video. Just find somewhere where it says transcript. Copy that transcript and paste it onto ChatGPT. Then, below the text, add. Summarize the above text into the most important points. Display the points as bullet points with short descriptions. And again, you can start asking ChatGPT questions about what it just summarized. So this saves a lot of time. And this is another one that has been very, very useful, particularly in reflective practice or reflective teaching. For example, you can talk to famous educators. They need to be really famous so that we can make sure that large language models have acquired information from the World Wide Web and that they have enough data to work with those. But you can give ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or Claude the task of what to do. That means that you want to talk to this guy. You can use the following prompt and adapt it to your needs. For example, you can say, act as Paulo Freire. the famous educator. You must answer every question that I pose as if you were Paulo Freire. Debate with me by answering my questions, counter-arguing, or posing questions of your own. I will now ask you the first question. Are you ready? So this is a very, very nice way of interacting with AI. And I'll go ahead and do it right now. So I forget about pasting it as text. So when I do that, because I said, are you ready? It should answer, yeah, go ahead, or I'm ready. Okay. So what do you consider to be the perfect EFL classroom? And there we can start the conversation. It says there is no perfect, it's a tempting ideal, but true education is a journey. Now, if I want to hear this instead of reading it, I can click here. And then I will be able to listen to what it says. So perhaps you have your own vision. Let's hear it now. It wants to know what is my ideal classroom. So I can type it in and then I can continue the conversation. So this is a very, very nice also practice to use. I'm trying to check the time. Sometimes I speak too much. Then, as I was telling you, just sort of to know the name, we can use the Feynman technique. This means that you ask the large language model to lower the level of difficulty of the concepts that you're trying to learn. So for example, if I don't really understand constructivism, I would say, topic, constructivism. Summarize and explain the above topic for a second grade student or second grade students. And it will explain to me what constructivism is, but it will use examples that are easier to understand. And let's go ahead and use Copilot this time. And I eliminate this. Students for a second grade student. All right. So we do the same, and this is going to help me understand. After that, I can increase the level and say, go at a university level, at a postgraduate level, and it really explains ideas more. So there you go. There's an explanation of what constructivism is. It's like building with Lego blocks. You can even ask it, can you give me a different analogy or metaphor or comparison, and it will do it again. So this is great. The building of a magical story. It's like creating your own magical storybook. So yeah, interaction with large language models is a very interesting thing that we can do. All right, we continue. Then we can create flashcards, and when done, you can send them to Quizlet or to any of these web pages that generate the flashcards. But it is time consuming. Trying to generate flashcards, it will take time. So something that you can do is, take this. Again, you can, of course, take a screenshot of this and use it on your own. But usually for this particular task, ChatGPT does it better because of the way it can present the information, at least in the paid version. And let's see what it gives us in the free version. But if you notice, it will give you the question and the answer. For example, you have very little time, you know the vocabulary you have for your class, and you want to include it as a teacher, you put it in there. Or you have as a student, your teacher gave you some vocabulary that you need to learn, you can easily do this and have this question and answer session and create matching exercises or etc., right? You can import it into Quizlet or any other of those apps. And then we can also work with live active recall. This means that you are studying, but not having the whole thing, but by parts. So what you can do is give the topic, for example, research, design, and applied linguistics for EFL or ESL. And then you tell it, you ask me a question with 4 possible answers, level A to D. You will then stop and wait for my response. After I have answered, you say whether my answer is correct or incorrect and provide an explanation. So you could do this one by one, and this is going to help a lot. It's a great help for those of us who are going to have an exam, who are going to have some sort of assessment, and we want to make sure that we understand the topic well. Okay, now we're almost done with with all the ideas on how we could use it, but believe me, they're all very interesting. Something that we can also do is use the Pareto principle. Here we use the Feynman technique, but the Pareto principle is also very, very useful. In this, basically, the Pareto is 80% of the effect that you have comes from 20% of the causes. If we translate this to applied linguistics, would be like 20% of the vocabulary existing in the English language accounts for 80% of the necessary communication that there is going to exist or it's going to take place. So we can ask those things to ChatGPT. So remember, input and edit accordingly the following prompt. This is already done for you. You can adjust as necessary. But you can say, I want to learn how to speak English. Can you use the Pareto principle, which identifies the 20% of the grammar structures that will yield the 80% of the desired results, to create a focused learning plan for me? And remember what we already discussed. Once you have that, you can say, create a study schedule for all of the above in an appropriate amount of weeks. I can study for 2 hours every Monday and Friday. Include time for revision and testing. And then in the end, you can say, hey, suggest me various learning resources like books, videos, podcasts, and interactive exercises for the above topics that cater to different learning styles. And then you say, well, I don't think that's possible. But is it? Let's see what it does. So if I select this and I go to, for example, Gemini, and I forgot again that I need to paste it as text. All right, so I click this, and if you notice, there you are. Present simple, continuous, subject verb agreement, basic questions, essential verbs. Consider high frequency vocabulary as the example I told you, phrases and idioms, listening and speaking practice. So it will also explain, well, some other elements there. So if you also put it in this one, you might have a similar answer, but you can check the differences between the answers that they give you. And there you have it. I mean, you have a pretty good start for someone who really needs to learn fast, right? So it goes, this one has a different take on it. Listening, speaking, grammar, it divided it by skill. So this is excellent. This is very, very interesting. So, but this is more working, like I was going to give you some ideas for this, but this is more working as a teacher, right? Right now, I want to take or to adopt, we're working from the perspective of the student. If I am a student, what can I do? How can I use ChatGPT or any LLM to help me learn faster, to be more effective? That's what I want to do. I want to learn better. I want to learn faster. And this tool is always available, and it gets very, very good, interesting results. You can also ask ChatGPT to brainstorm with you or for you. For example, if you need to write about something related to English teaching and you don't really know what to write about, you need to present a research proposal, you don't know what to do, ask it to brainstorm with you. Act like an experienced ESL teacher trainer. Write a list of ideas for teaching a class with the past perfect tense. If I am learning the past perfect, I can do that, and it's going to give me a list of ideas that I can use in order to study, right? Okay. Let's see. And finally, have a conversation with ChatGPT. Now it's possible. And yes, speaking, which is the reaction that I usually get. Like, can you talk to ChatGPT? Yes. You have to open your Chrome browser. I'm pretty sure it's also in other browsers like Edge or Firefox, maybe Opera. I don't really know. But the one that I have used and it works is in Chrome. You're gonna open your browser and type in Google or any search engine. You're gonna type voice control for ChatGPT. Yes, you're going to install that extension and then open your ChatGPT webpage or simply refresh it. And everything that we have seen, all these ideas that I have given you, you can do them by speaking. Pretty neat, isn't it? So, yeah, there are hundreds of other ideas waiting to be discovered or developed. It is for us to dive in, to use our creativity, and to interact with these systems to see what they give us. Prompts and ideas depend on the objectives that learners have for using these tools. But the most valuable asset is that it provides, or that it has, is that it has an incredibly vast amount of information that can be used to teach us or lead us to learn faster. And yes, again, you guessed it right. It is all at the tip of our fingers. So it doesn't come without challenges, of course. As I told you, the concept of this AI personal teachers is a little bit more dedicated than using ChatGPTs or Gemini. They are people trying to create bots specifically for this. But if we use them or we try to use them, the challenges that we identify or that have been identified is how we can use it to learn and to save time rather than avoid work, because some people see them as an opportunity not to do the things. But no, it's the typical example is a calculator, right? I don't have to do all the operations in my mind. It helps me. It's a tool. It is the same thing. And unfortunately, I forgot to include an article in MIT, I think. I don't remember the university, but it says that they studied people uh, who used ChatGPT and those who didn't. And yes, productivity increased. And interestingly, what happened is that when they were asked to do writing tasks, what changed was the amount of time they spent on the process. So instead of spending a lot of time in brainstorming, outlining, drafting, and then revising, now the greatest part of the time allotted went to revising. So you still do the work. It is still your responsibility to check that what has been presented to you is correct, but it will save a lot of time. Another challenge is how to teach students to use AI for personal analysis of performance so that it can suggest strategies to improve and that students are interested in it. Sometimes they're not interested in performance, they just want to learn and they don't want to think about the rest. Using AI teachers extensively can represent a problem due to the biases that exist in the information present in the coding of the large language models. So I'm pretty sure you might have heard or seen one or two TikTok videos where it says you ask the large language model to create a joke or to make a joke about white people, and it will, but then you ask it to create a joke about Hispanics, and then it says, no, well, I don't want to do that. So this is a bias. That means that the ideas, beliefs, and morals of the people who are coding or creating the algorithms for large language models to exist will be present. And because we will be learning from them, this can represent a problem. Yes, because we would be learning the morals, the aesthetics, the structure, the way of thinking of the people who created the large language models. And another one is that if it's used through the creation of bots specifically to teach, it requires an important partnership between developers and educators so that it can be intuitive and engaging for students of different ages and backgrounds. As I was telling you right now, a bias could make it very interesting for an individual that has the similar characteristics to the person who wrote the code, but not to others who don't share the same age, the same background, etc. Right? Okay. And so a major concern is that it will perpetuate biases and inequalities present in the training data. This was exactly what I was mentioning. Another challenge is the need for a robust privacy. That means that whatever you input into these large language models becomes available for the people who work in those companies. It's there, you cannot reclaim it. I think, and I'm not sure, that Copilot's Enterprise or the paid version for companies is the only one that doesn't keep information for their own purposes or uses. And finally, the obvious point is that there may be concerns about the potential for AI personal teachers to replace human teachers, leading to job losses in the education sector. So yes, it's there. There needs to be a lot of discussion with legislators, with policymakers to make sure that this become tools for educators, not substitute for educators, because they are great tools. Okay, so this is not necessarily related to you as a student learning, but it is something that could stop the development of this, right? Okay, so in conclusion, well, they have the potential, this AI personal teachers, the potential to revolutionize education by providing personalized, engaging, and efficient learning experiences for students. The benefits of AI personal teachers include adaptive learning, instant feedback, 24/7 availability. However, implementation requires careful consideration of algorithm development, integration with existing educational systems, and user experience design. Challenges like biases, privacy concerns, and potential impact on human teachers have to be addressed before continuing. And as it continues to advance, it is essential for everybody, all the people who are involved in the education, to collaborate to ensure that they are developed and implemented in ways that maximize their potential benefits while minimizing their risks. So with the right approach, these AI personal teachers have the potential to transform education and empower students to achieve their full learning potential at the time they need it. Not not only when it is, or when we are available. So these are my references, and thank you very much for listening. So there's my contact if you want to discuss anything further. Thank you very much. I think now we go to questions. If there are any questions.
Thank you very much, doctor.
Se oye muy fuerte el eco. Ahí está.
Yes, sorry. Well, thank you very much, and I will switch now for Spanish. Thank you. Muchas gracias, doctor. Fue muy interesante la conferencia. Todas estas herramientas seguro nos serán muy útiles para nuestra práctica diaria en la docencia. Bueno, hay algunas preguntas en el chat y me gustaría dar paso a leerlas y
Claro que
para
sí.
ver, intercambiar comentarios acerca de todo esto.
Claro que sí.
La primera dice, ¿Are all these versions of AI you are using presenting free?
La respondo en inglés o en español. Bueno, en español, que si son gratuitas, las versiones o las partes gratuitas tienen un límite. Se manejan por tokens, vamos a decir como no es necesariamente así, pero por letras o por grupos de letras. Entonces tienen un número limitado de tokens. Y entonces este número pues limita la interacción que puedes tener con ellos. Entonces sí son gratis, pero hasta cierto punto, no puedes usarlos tanto. Sin embargo, ya si quieres algo más poderoso, que te dé mucho más espacio, pues ya hay que pagar. Que el costo promedio es como $20 al mes. Pero sí se pueden acceder de manera gratuita con sus limitaciones, ¿no? Las respuestas pues son mejores las que son de pago.
Thank you. Now, how have you addressed potential concerns around AI-generated content, such as issues of plagiarism or authenticity when using these tools in an educational context?
Ok, pues estamos cambiando de perspectiva como a maestro, ¿verdad? Pero la idea es aquí verlo como estudiante, cómo puedo aprovecharlo. Pero sí me ha tocado, por supuesto. El problema más grande que tienen son las alucinaciones. Entonces, yo creo que hay que conocer a nuestros estudiantes, saber cómo escriben, tener varias sesiones donde en clase ellos escriban para poder, más o menos, pues, si estamos en esta área, más o menos podemos detectar la estructura de razonamiento y de presentación de ideas. Entonces, un sistema de estos tiene, todo está perfecto, pues no tiene las estructuras de los párrafos están bien definidas, el número de palabras, de renglones, puntuación, utilización de palabras. Es muy común que nosotros como seres humanos tengamos errores o empecemos un párrafo de manera formal y el otro lo presentemos de manera informal o utilicemos palabras que no van en un mismo registro. Esto ChatGPT no lo hace, todo lo pone o formal o todo informal. Entonces, estas cuestiones nos ayudan a detectar cuando un alumno está utilizando. Entonces, cuando hay duda, no hay que acusarlo, sino se le pide, bueno, creo que puede haber aquí una cuestión de plagio. Quisiera que me defiendas lo que estoy viendo. Entonces, te voy a hacer preguntas de tu documento y dime si es cierto. Es como lo he utilizado yo, pero de nuevo estoy cambiando de de perspectiva, ¿no? Ahora lo estoy viendo como maestro. Bien, espero haber respondido.
Muy interesante y buena estrategia. Em, la siguiente pregunta, how reliable is AI for translating?
Sí, no, recuerden que tiene alucinaciones, ¿no? Entonces, si es una traducción que no tiene un impacto muy grande en lo que se vaya a utilizar, no hay problema, ¿no? Pero si es ya cuestiones laborales, cuestiones que puedan tener un impacto, sí se recomienda que lo que se hace con cualquier traductor electrónico, ¿no? Traduces, revisas lo que hiciste y comparas contra el original y a nuestra percepción y nuestro conocimiento de los temas y de los registros y de los objetivos comunicativos nos va a ayudar a ver, a verificar si está bien o está mal. Entonces, es tan efectivo como Google Translate, tan efectivo como cualquier otro traductor electrónico que esté ahí afuera.
Thank you, Doctor. How can we manage the use of artificial intelligence outside the classroom?
No entiendo muy bien afuera del salón de clases. A lo mejor se refiere a este cómo cómo lo pueden utilizar los alumnos. Entonces yo creo que con las ideas que les di, pueden hacer algunos ejercicios o prácticas fuera del aula. Todo esto que les platicaba yo era fuera del aula, donde nosotros como alumnos, como estudiantes, tratamos de beneficiarnos de todos estos eh, parámetros que ya tienen o actividades que pueden hacer estos modelos grandes de lenguaje. Y usualmente son como complemento a nuestras actividades como estudiante, ¿no? Entonces, gestionarlo, yo creo que se podría gestionar a menos que formara parte de lo que se hace en el aula. No estoy seguro si esa era el sentido de la pregunta, pero por ahí la entendí.
Sí, aún así es muy buena estrategia. Siguiente pregunta. ¿Está ChatGPT disponible en mobile devices, en un salón de clase, en tiempo real o solamente en una laptop o desktop? Me imagino que se refiere como aplicación. No
Sí,
sé.
pero sí, sí está disponible en tiempo real, es algo increíble. Y sí, desafortunadamente, si el maestro dice, háganme un ensayo, él le puede pedir en el teléfono que me haga un ensayo y te hace todo. Entonces, sí, sí hay. No, no estoy seguro si es una app o si abres un navegador. No recuerdo bien cómo lo utilizamos, pero creo yo que ya está la app integrada. Y sin embargo, si los alumnos lo tienen, pues pueden utilizarlo para generar conversación. Aquí dice alguien, dice, solamente te registras con tu
Hola,
número de
primero
celular.
felicidades por su participación, doctor. Muy
Muchas gracias.
interesante la presentación. Mi pregunta es, ¿qué tipo de entrenamiento deben tener los estudiantes antes de utilizar esta herramienta? ¿Puede dar el entrenamiento del profesor?
Sí, sí, claro. De hecho, una de las grandes dificultades que hay ahorita es, uno, pues la reticencia que tenemos a veces a la implementación de tecnologías, que siempre está presente. Y dos, muchas veces es por desconocimiento, no sabemos exactamente qué puede hacer, ¿no? Este, pero yo creo que es más si el maestro tiene claridad en cómo lo quiere usar, qué quiere hacer, pues la implementación en el aula es fácil, ¿no? La perspectiva de nuevo se va muy, muy hacia lo docente, ¿no? Pero sí.
Gracias, doctor. Siguiente pregunta. There is a kind of limit to use the AI teaching languages. I mean, we can make content just with AI, or could be better to combine AI with our own criteria to develop content.
No, definitivamente lo más importante es utilizar nuestro criterio. Muy, muy interesante pregunta, ¿eh? El desarrollo de materiales a través de la inteligencia artificial está creciendo, como parece un campo solo de estudio. Pero hay que utilizar el criterio y hay que trabajar mucho en función de los objetivos que tenemos en cada programa de materia o en cada unidad o en cada a lo mejor día, ¿no? Entonces se trabaja en función de los objetivos, más que nada.
Gracias. Me voy a ir un poquito más rápido porque
Está bien.
tenemos todavía muchas preguntas y poco tiempo. Voy
Muy
a
bien.
leerle dos preguntas, doctor.
Ok.
Dice, AI generated content will be inevitable, but how can teachers work together with AI models as to benefit both teachers and students in learning and teaching languages? And what are your top 3 recommendations for using this AI to minimize the risk to users' privacy and security?
Ok. Pues me voy con la segunda, ¿no? La segunda es comentarles a los alumnos que todo lo que se genere en estos sistemas, pues va a estar disponible. Alguien puede acceder a ellos. Entonces solicitar que no pongan números, por ejemplo, números confidenciales, que no pongan información personal, este tipo de cosas. Y ayúdame con la primera otra vez para asegurarme que entendí bien. La primera pregunta, doctora Mercado.
I'm sorry. How we want to fit both teachers and students in learning and teaching languages.
Creo que el beneficio es muy claro. Por ejemplo, la teoría de la hipótesis, perdón, la hipótesis de la interacción, perdón, nos dice que para poder nosotros aprender un idioma tiene que haber interacción, no solamente podemos hacerlo como un ejercicio cognitivo intelectual. Entonces, muchas veces lo que nos falta es esa persona con quien platicar, alguien que quiera practicar el inglés. Eso me ayuda también a la comprensión auditiva. Entonces, nos da la interacción si ponemos o activamos el control de voz. Y como maestro nosotros les pedimos, tienen que platicar con ChatGPT acerca de estos problemas, de estas situaciones, generar diálogos. Creo que the sky's the limit, como dicen.
Doctor, perdón, se perdió el audio.
Ay, disculpe, ¿me escuchan ya? ¿Sí me escuchan? Sí, ok. Les decía que creo que las implicaciones son muy fuertes por la hipótesis de la interacción, que nos dice que para aprender un idioma pues tiene que haber interacción. No puede ser solamente un ejercicio cognitivo. Si no se utiliza para comunicar como objetivo, pues no tiene ese desarrollo. Entonces, poder como maestros crearles las preguntas y poder decirles, discutan estas preguntas con su inteligencia artificial y al final denme el resultado, denme cuál fue su conclusión. Nos ayuda no solo a generar pensamiento crítico y razonamiento lógico, pero también nos va a desarrollar la capacidad de habla, de estructurar nuestras ideas y de comprensión auditiva, si es que buscamos tratar de escuchar en vez de leer, que todas esas cosas, ya la creatividad va a depender de nosotros, ¿no? Así es.
Gracias, doctor. Bueno, siguiente pregunta. How can students be guided to write correct prompts to get the correct ChatGPT output?
Esto tiene que ver con el entrenamiento a maestros. Hay algo que se llama prompt engineering, donde hay fórmulas específicas para la generación de prompts. Por eso compartí muchos que ya funcionan. Sin embargo, entre más detallado sea nuestra instrucción, mejor va a ser la respuesta, ¿no? Entonces, entre más criterios de lo que necesitamos se le incluya, pues mejor van a ser las respuestas. En este sentido, prompt engineering, estoy seguro que no lo presenté porque estoy seguro que en alguna otra de las pláticas va a salir. Hay modelos para generación de comandos o prompt, ¿no? Prompt engineering, que son ya pues muy famosos, ¿no? Hay de 3 pasos, de 6 pasos, etcétera.
Thank you. Have you encountered any difficulties in tailoring ChatGPT interactions to suit the diverse needs and proficiency levels of EFL learners?
Fíjate que esa es una pregunta muy, muy interesante. Al contrario, a la persona que nos pregunta, al contrario, el hecho de que tú le puedas pedir a ChatGPT, sabes que tengo esta planeación de clase, pero resulta que tengo un aula multinivel y necesito implementar instrucción diferenciada. Quiero que me implementes instrucción diferenciada para estos alumnos con estos niveles y te genera hasta varias lecciones de clase o planeaciones de clase en, no sé, 10 segundos.
Muchas gracias. Y bueno, alguien pide que si por favor puede volver a compartir su información para contactarlo. Incluso también los que tengan más preguntas o que si no, o se me pasó alguna, por favor puedan contactar al doctor también para enviarle sus preguntas. Les agradecemos a todos por haber estado aquí. También, bueno, el doctor tiene un montón de agradecimientos aquí en el chat.
Muchas
También le
gracias, qué
agradecemos
amable.
mucho por su participación y por tan interesante conferencia. Nos va a servir un montón ahora con estas herramientas que ya están a la orden del día en cada momento. Entonces,
Muchas
pues,
gracias.
muchas gracias a todos. Le doy la palabra a la doctora para hacer el cierre.
Perdón. La doctora creo dijo, ¿verdad? Sí. La escuchamos, doctora.
Aquí estoy. Muchas gracias, doctor León. Muy interesante su plática. Gracias a todos por sus preguntas, por sus comentarios. Damos por concluida esta primera sesión, esta primera conferencia, y los esperamos la próxima semana. Va a ser el miércoles también a las 11 de la mañana, si no me equivoco, sino en nuestro sitio web, que es www.v.mx/. Fiale con doble A, ahorita se los pongo en el chat. Ahí pueden ver la agenda de todas las conferencias que se van a estar impartiendo a partir de hoy hasta el 12 de junio aproximadamente. Hemos tenido muy buena respuesta. Gracias a todos por estar aquí, por participar. En cuanto a su asistencia, se va a ir registrando en automático en la sesión para la cuestión de las constancias. El formato es que deberán cubrir al menos 50% de las asistencias para contar con su constancia al finalizar el evento. Les agradecemos mucho su tiempo y nos vemos la siguiente semana. Pueden utilizar la misma liga, va a ser el mismo enlace para todas las conferencias. Muchísimas gracias.